Today we are going to try to clean up the the L99 Camaro 6.2 liter V8 that spent 4 years underwater in the Ohio River. I tore it down some time ago. Oh, the smell, the aroma of the Ohio River. That's rough. Okay. Whoa! And I'm starting to bring some of the parts to work today. I finally have a moment to do that. And well, let me show you what the heads look like now. And we're gonna take them to work and run through the parts washer and see how nice we can make them look. So as you can see, they look great. Not really terrible. Not as bad as you would think. And I really think these are gonna come out all okay, but we won't know that until they come out of the parts washer. Lots of crusties. They're definitely gonna take some work, but I think I can salvage these. So yeah, let's go to work, take the old E92 that I saved from the salvage auction. Today's the day. We're gonna take the block and the rods and pistons up to work. I might take some other parts. There's all the junk I just chiseled out of the side of the block because I don't want that in the back of my vehicle. I also don't want that in the parts washer. So I can sweep it up easy on the floor. We're just gonna take this on out and load it up, take it to work. You guys remember this one, don't you? Perfect. All right, I loaded up as much stuff as I want to. We got the rods and pistons, crankshaft, the valve covers, which probably get scrapped, rear main, that's going in the scrap bin. But the block, the rotating assembly, all that stuff's gonna go in the parts wash. We're gonna see how nice it comes out. All right, got everything loaded in the parts washer. Not everything. I think there's 5, 6 rods and pistons, crank, and the block. We're gonna set this for about an hour, come back, see how everything looks. All right, everything's been run through here for at least an hour. You can see it's still pretty dirty. So I'm gonna go ahead and pressure wash it while it's in here. All the junk will fall in here and then this gets cleaned and this fluid goes to where it needs to go instead of out in the parking lot. And I'm gonna put the heads in, and I'll put the remaining rods and pistons in, and we'll see how it all looks. All right, the heads are done. They're still very dirty. There's a lot of corrosion that the parts washer just doesn't get out, but I'm gonna get these power washed, get this power washed, get some WD-40 on this so it doesn't flash rust, and yeah, we'll see what we can do. Everything I intended to clean and inspect is now home on the workbench, but I wanted to preface this by saying I simply ran these parts through my jet wash cabinet. It does a really good job removing oil deposits and dirt and grime, but it doesn't clean everything. It's not the same thing as a hot tank, and it's not the same thing as spending the time it takes to hand clean these parts. So while they look cleaner, they are not as clean as they can be, but I think it's good enough to give us a good idea of what kind of work is going to be needed to reuse these parts, if they're even reusable at all. We're going to start with the rods and pistons, and no, I did not keep them in order. That's very hard to do running through the parts washer, which removes any kind of marking. So some of these aren't too bad. Like this one is really not too bad. They cleaned up pretty nice. Again, you can get them a little bit cleaner, a little bit of skirt wear, but several of them have some pretty significant skirt wear. And I gotta say, the 6.2 especially, they're terrible about piston skirt wear. That one's really rough. We tear down a ton of these engines, and it usually takes something like probably 5 engines to get a set of 8 nice pistons. It's incredible to me. And I know some of you are asking who the heck buys used rods and pistons. Well, we do sell them. This one might clean up, and that one needed some more time in the parts wash. But the rings cleaned up pretty nice. There's no discernible damage to the tops. I think there's probably, no, that one's too rough. That one's too rough. There's probably 1 or 2 reusable, or at least pistons I would feel comfortable reusing. Of course, the rods all have a little bit of corrosion on them. I don't know necessarily that would make them, I don't think that would affect a single thing, but it makes them very hard to sell. Next, we're going to go over the crankshaft. Now, at first, I thought this looked really good, especially considering the situation it was from, but it is not that great. I'm not going to say that it's trash. It's certainly usable, but you can see there's a lot of shadowing and there's some pitting. One of these journals, I think it's this one here, has some pretty deep rust pits. There's also a few marks where you can see the edge of where the bearing shell sat, and you can feel it with your fingernail. Something with the edge of the bearing might have corroded. Either way, the biggest problem that I see with a crank like this isn't so much that it can't be used, it's that they're so plentiful. They're incredibly cheap. I sell cranks out of LS's unless it's something really special. It's like $100. And even though people say they're all the same, they're not. They're drilled differently. But this is not a rare enough crank, I think, or an expensive enough crank, I think, to go through the machine work to make this right. Most people don't want a crank that's been machined. They want one that doesn't need any machining, and maybe this would clean up with a polish. I still think this thing's going to end up in the scrap bin unless somebody really wants it. Here's a look at the other side of the crank. It's just, the finish is not great. We've seen a lot of cranks on this channel. There's that mark, I think. And yeah, look at all that. So it's unfortunate, but this might be scrap. Let's get into the cylinder heads. So these are 823 rectangle port heads, LS3 style heads. And the valve train doesn't look too terrible. A little bit of rust, I think it would clean up just fine. You can use some Evaporust on it. I've actually broken down this head, which we'll get to in a second. But when you look down the intake ports, which I'll get a flashlight. So when we look down the intake ports, you can see there was definitely a lot of rust and corrosion. Water set on top of these quite a bit. And actually, if you shine your light just right, see if I can do this. I don't know if it's going to work. I might have to do a different method. All right, it's down the intake port now. Right there. See that light? That is coming through between the valve and the seat. I'll show that in another way in a second, but there's probably some debris hung up in there. It could also be some rust and corrosion at the seat. There is no way that I would try to put these in without doing a valve job. Not a chance. You can see there's tons of corrosion here. I think all this would clean up pretty well. They're never going to be beautiful like a set of heads that, you know, didn't spend 4 years in the Ohio, but they're still usable, I believe. All right, now I'm not going to do this with every single valve on every port on every engine, but we're going to spray some brake clean down the intake ports, and I'll show you how they leak, or if they leak. See how that one's just gushing out. So that definitely has got a problem with this, and it could be something where you might be able to smack it a few times with a hammer and, you know, fix it, or when I say fix it, smash whatever debris is in there or dislodge it. But either way, knowing this head's history, not a chance without a full valve job. Now this head I broke down. I took all the springs and retainers out so that these valves will move pretty freely. So we're going to go ahead and pull the valves out and get a better look at the seats, bottoms of the guides. I did give them a little bit of WD in an attempt to get them to move a little easier, because some of them were very stuck, which is also bad. I'll get to that in a second. There we go. All right, all the valves are out, and we can get a better look at the seats. Well, let's look at the valves. I mean, they're not terrible. You almost expect worse. See if we can put some light, shed some light on the situation. Yeah, there's definitely some corrosion. You know, I always tell people when I sell any used heads that I would at least lap them. I think this is going to require a valve job. Maybe not in every single one, but if you're there, you're there. You can see there's definitely some signs of rust on the guides. It's really hard to say whether those would have an issue or not. I'd love for someone that works on these things for a living, at least puts them back together, not just take them apart like I do. Weigh in on what you think of the guides. Now these heads, a good pair of Recport heads these days is about $600. That seems to be market price. I'm sure you can find them cheaper. So keep that in mind with how much work they'll need as to whether they're worth it or not. Wanted to show you the top side of the head too. So you can see the rust and corrosion up here. You know, without taking everything all the way apart, it's hard to really get all the stuff out. On to the block. Well, let's look at the external condition. It looks pretty bad. And I say it looks bad. I don't think this is actually that bad. I think you could clean most of this stuff up. I would replace all the hardware. Again, I simply ran it through the jet wash, the spray wash cabinet, and I didn't do anything after that. Now, this does still have a 3/8 socket stuck on this because one of the main cap bolts was converted from metric to imperial by the Ohio River. However, outside of that, the areas that were just inside the crankcase look really nice. Even inside the valley, that all looks pretty good. But the outside of the block is definitely not pristine. Nothing that I would put in a show car without a bit of work. Now the bores. I know everyone wants to see this. So we're going to start with the good side, as a proper salesman would. There's definitely some rust and corrosion in these. This is probably the worst one on this side, and I believe that this would clean up pretty well. I don't think this would take very much to clean up. None of this is too terrible. Now, maybe a hone. I don't think it would require overbore. That one's a little rougher. Not ready to slap together. But the other side, this is where the real problem is. This bore is really rough. And there's a big ridge right there, a rust ridge. There's lots of pitting. The second cylinder back has some pretty deep rust there. And that's the thing, is it doesn't matter how bad the rust is everywhere except for wherever it is the worst. The worst area where there's rust, it affects the entire bore. This is by far the worst one. And the general consensus on one of these 6.2 liters is that you can go about 20 over, which is 10 over each side, if you look at it that way. And you're not going to get this out. It's unfortunate, guys. Like, this is exactly why I didn't want to sell it until I ran it through the washer so I could get a better look at what kind of condition it was in, because this is not something that a dingleberry hone, I know it's dingleball, this is not going to be fixed by this. This needs more than a hone or even a boring. This is going to need sleeves. I am not a machine shop, nor am I an engine builder, but I can tell you with all of the confidence after selling hundreds of LS engines and blocks and heads that the amount of work that this 6.2 liter needs is probably pretty close to what its value is. Now, that doesn't make this worthless, and it doesn't make this scrap. It just means that it's not great. A perfect 6.2 liter with perfect bores, I can sell for about $1,400, which may seem like a lot, but keep in mind, very, very few of the 6.2s that I get in meet that criteria. Most of them need something. So something in average shape that's going to need 10 over and a little cleanup, that is probably about $1,000, maybe $1,200, depending on how nice it looks. Beyond that, something that needs over 20 over, which seems to be the general consensus of what one of these 6.2 liters can handle. And even then at 20 over, I think you've reduced the amount of heat dissipation and the cylinder strength. Beyond 20 over, it's going to need sleeves. And that is a huge expense over a simple bore 10 over, 20 over boring job. And that starts to get close to the territory of, is it worth it or not? Now, there are certain people out there that want to pop the hood on their Camaro or Corvette and see that it says 6.2 liter, regardless of what kind of work it needs. And I do sell a ton of Siamese cooling 5.3s, and almost all of those bare blocks get sold and get sleeves in them and turned into larger displacement engines. However, they still say 5.3 on them. I know you can grind them up, whatever. There's still a narrow market that wants it to say 6.2. Aside from that, this engine has a pretty cool story, and I think that if you were going to start from scratch and you wanted a cool story, this is the engine for you, but it is not worth anywhere near what a perfect 6.2 is worth. And that is exactly why I wanted to make this video before I let any of these parts go, because I wanted someone to know what they were getting into. The last thing I want to do is sell something under the pretense that it's not that bad, or it just needs a little cleanup or a little work. This needs a little bit more than a little bit of work. This needs a lot of work. Maybe I could have gotten it running if I was crazy enough, but it wouldn't have been right, and it could have done more damage, which is why I just tore it down. Now, if you do want nice parts, nicer 6.2s, I'm going to leave our email and our website in the video description. You can go there or email us. However, these parts I will still sell. Just understand that this is not great. The heads or the block or the crank or the rods and pistons, none of it is that great unless you really love the story behind it. And believe me, there were a lot of people that told me, you should build that and put it in one of your cars. The idea of adding a project in my life, I'm not losing my hair, but it would probably make me start. And I don't need anything else to work on, so this is someone else's project, perhaps. If not, it'll be kicking around the shop. I'm not going to throw it in the scrap bin because I can't do that. It still has some value, but this is going to conclude the flooded Camaro series, which I never intended to make a series out of. This was just something that kind of snowballed. I actually didn't even want to tear that engine down in the first place because it smelled bad, and my garage still smells bad. Almost all of the parts outside of this, and these have all been washed, are out of this garage, and it still smells like it's right here in front of me. My wife is super thrilled. Anyway, if you'd like to buy any parts out of this or anything else, I left our contact information in the video description. Really hope you enjoyed this video. As always, I love all the comments, all the feedback, and even the criticism. I love it all, and I'll catch you on the next one.